Welcome back to Let's Play Homeworld. I'm Hunter Black Luna, and the fleet is assembled for hyperspace.
Auto-docking.
Everything that doesn't have a hyperdrive has got to dock with the mothership, including things that normally don't. Like the science vessel. Explore reporting. Normally I fast dock because I don't think it's terribly interesting watching this. It's also interesting how the ion array frigates that we recently captured are shuffling themselves into a different formation. I don't know, you guys were in a pretty good line before. Huh? Hey, the frigates are doing the same deal. Maybe they're just trying to move to accommodate other units. That's one thing that got me. In StarCraft, your units were so stupid about pathfinding that if you tried to move a big clump of units together, if you were playing a UMS map where you had like hundreds of guys, oh man, they were just bog stupid. They wouldn't move. That was one of the big innovations in StarCraft 2. When you tried to move a unit through a group of other units, the units would fuck out the way. But this game does that in some circumstances, especially when units are in formation. And this game came out like about the same time as StarCraft 1, so certainly wasn't technical limitations. Although, I don't know, trying to compare those two games is rather unfair. It's apples and oranges.
Hyperspace initiated.
Anyway, let's get it going, guys. Next mission's gonna be crucial.
We have repaired the damage incurred by the Tyrannic Raiders. Combat and sensor systems returning to optimal functionality.
Our first hyperdrive test led to near genocide. Carrick, destroyed. All of us, all that's left, hunted by 2 alien races.
We must focus on the matter at hand. Elimination of the fleet that destroyed our world. Coming up on hyperspace coordinates.
All ships auto-launching. Hyperspace successful. Current position and pre-jump coordinates are in perfect alignment. We are on target.
We detect large resource deposits but no vessels. It is possible that the Titan could be hiding in the denser portions of the belt. It may cause interference with our sensors. Send probes to investigate. All fleet assets should be kept on alert.
No kidding. Yeah, the Titan are there, guys. Right there in the densest resource portion of the belt. However, it is worth noting that this battle doesn't actually start until we want it to start. After all, this is a conflict entirely of our choosing, and the enemy is still weak and wounded and weary. We need some things. Such as?
Production underway.
Well, more resources, frankly. Always need more of those.
Reporting.
Also, 2 more heavy corvettes to make a total of 20.
Construction commencing.
And we want a total of 14 salvagers, so that means ordering up 6 more.
Production underway.
You guys ever played Sword of the Stars? The humans there have a saying, Repensum est canicula. Go look it up.
Construction commencing.
And I'm gonna want 2 probes before our money runs out.
Ready for orders.
Probe complete.
Pilot standing by for escort. Destination confirmed.
Probe complete.
Here's the key portion to consider about this mission. There's a period where you can harvest resources without alerting the enemy to your
Support frigate
presence.
complete. Heavy corvette complete.
At roughly this area,
Probe dispatched.
we can send one of our probes out. And if we put him right in the V-neck, he will serve as an acceptable safety marker to show the limits of where our resourcing operation should go. And you can nudge right up to the enemy fleet, but stay below 49 kilometers from the mothership. That's the estimate. So the probe is on station right now. If we can harvest without passing this probe...
Probe in position.
There we go, now it's completely in position. If we can harvest without managing to pass this probe and get everything we need, then we're in good shape. We're in real good shape. And the second probe is for when we actually do decide to trigger the engagement.
Ready for orders. Reporting.
Group 2 reinforced.
Assuming aggressive tactics, diverting power to weapons. Warning formation confirmed. Assuming evasive tactics, diverting power to engines.
There we go.
Establishing claw formation.
Now that's one fuck of a corvette formation. These things might as well be mini assault frigates.
Standing by.
Surprisingly enough,
Reporting for duty.
our captured ion array frigates
Resources exhausted. Construction
won't
paused.
actually be playing that big a role in the upcoming engagement.
Group 6 reinforced.
I will designate all of our frigates into one group just for easy reference.
Research Division reports it is now equipped for plasma bomb technology. We advise commencing research immediately.
I advise that too.
Commencing plasma bomb launcher research.
Alright, looks like our harvester is in position.
Awaiting assignment.
Let's go ahead and give the word.
Collection underway.
And just keep an eye on your harvester and make sure they don't pass the probe. When they get there, they can eat the other arm too. And that should be enough. We've almost met our building quotas. I will need another 2 support frigates as well.
Production underway.
And then after that, well, we're pretty much good to rock.
Receiving.
And thanks to that resource controller, we won't necessarily have to wait all day for the money to roll in. We won't actually be building attack bombers until the mission is over and we're ready to leave. Oh, but they'll be coming in handy. And I just advise doing all the research anyway. There's no real cost. Except your time, but hey, in Homeworld, you got plenty of time. Looks like he'll get a full load or 2 from this area. When I mean after the battle's over, we just harvest everything anyway.
Full load. Returning.
The Titan and the Kushan obviously have different ship types. If you choose the Titan, everything looks different, and you know, for the most part, I really like the Kushan ship designs. They look better than the Titan. That's just me. Although as a kid, I was in love with how the Titan fighters looked. And you probably got a glimpse of them from the recording of the destruction of Carrick, when they were fucking up the scaffold.
Transfer confirmed.
Looks like 650 resource units. Not sufficient. It is insufficient. Don't touch it.
Responding.
Yeah, Yeah, it looks like he'll get about another full tank. I stopped it a little bit short, but I kind of want to have some safety margin. Oh, and also,
Salvage corvette complete.
don't try to scout the enemy with a scout squadron when you're ready,
Standing by.
because then either your scouts will die, and that's bad, or if you tell the scouts to return to the mothership, the whole enemy fleet will follow, right to the mothership. And that's a problem. We want to take these assholes out in stages and groups. That's
Reporting.
14.
Standing by.
Support frigate complete. Resources depleted. All jobs on hold.
Oh, looks like it's just the one support frigate left, and that's about it.
Reporting for duty.
Sighted the probe. That means he can probably get another tank full, but then it'll be time to pull back.
Cells at capacity. Ready
There
for
we
orders.
go. As soon as he drops off his stuff, we're gonna order him to retreat to the mothership. Harvesters are a little stupid about that, actually. You really need to emphasize the value of saving their lives. But they'll just want to continue harvesting herp-de-dirt. Although, as I mentioned, on evasive, they'll try to dock with the nearest friendly thing.
Resources
Now to
in
get some
range.
safety. Okay, yeah, that's all we need. Good job, boys. Come on home. Alright, we're pretty much prepared. Maybe a couple more scouts, too. Yeah,
Construction
we can replace
commencing.
some of those casualties. It's a pretty small investment. Normally I don't bother with probes, though, because, as you may or may not be aware,
Plasma bomb launcher research complete. Attack bomber available for construction.
probes are a one-time deal. Completely one-time.
Scout
That
complete.
probe will not ever move again.
Awaiting assignment.
If you was from where the scouts were from, you'd be
Group
dead.
3
In
reassigned.
fact,
Evasive tactics enabled. Diverting
Support
power to
frigate
engines.
complete.
half of our scout squadron was
All
friggin'
formation
dead.
confirmed.
And the fleet is prepared. So that was phase 1, the build-up phase. The
Awaiting
enemy
orders.
still doesn't know the gigantic can of whoop-ass we are about to lay down with our specialist forces. So first of all, we are going to save the game. Ah, doesn't fit. Humbug. Operation Repensum. Alright.
Awaiting assignment.
I want 4 of yous guys.
Coordinates confirmed. Receiving. Acknowledged. Ready for escort. Waiting assignment. Roger. Reporting for duty.
Yeah, go ahead and go with them.
Acknowledged. Ready for escort.
Even better, actually heal him.
Support command acknowledged. Acknowledged. Reporting.
The trick is to go to about the 2 o'clock position if we assume the mothership is facing 12. So around,
Coordinates confirmed. Receiving.
Mothership drives offline.
yeah, the mothership doesn't actually move. Say about 45 kilometers from the mothership at the 2 o'clock. So actually somewhere where the probe happens to be. Let's say about here, yeah. out of it.
Responding. Destination locked in.
Just somewhere around that area. And if I fuck it up, well, hey. That's what redos were made for. This first part shouldn't be too difficult, though. Alright, this probe, the marker probe.
Scuttle initiated.
Scuttle it. Hope the Titan don't notice the enormous explosion. And then, once our units are in position, and it looks like they are, then we'll save again, just to be extra judicious cautious. Send that probe right for
Probe
the enemy.
away.
And get ready to rock, everybody.
Standing by. Standing by. Ready for orders. Underway. Understood.
Ship profiles and markings match those from the recording at Karak. There is no doubt that this is the fleet. Destroy them.
No doubt. There they are. That's a carrier and 2 destroyers, escorted by a butt-ton of frigate-class vessels.
Acknowledged.
The key is to keep your head and engage the enemy fleet in groups.
Underway. Destination locked in.
Turn it around, guys.
Ready for orders.
That dot approaching should be either a fighter patrol or, even better, their harvesting operation. Either one of those things are worth putting a little dent in. And if you do it right, you can attack stages of the enemy fleets without having to deal with the whole thing. Now things can get a little messy here, you know, any plan when it comes time to make contact with the enemy, you know, sometimes that shit happens. Just keep it calm, keep it cool. And let them fan out. And I don't have to worry about the mothership so much, because the only thing they'll really harry it with are strike craft. Here comes the enemy. Let's go ahead and usher them out, gentlemen. Those are interceptors.
Group 2 to combat stations.
Interceptors versus heavy corvettes with decent
We got 'em
supports.
napping.
Well, I don't know, guys.
Attack complete. Entering holding pattern. Underway.
Alright, now pull it back. Yes, you're seeing right.
Course
Those are
set.
enemy harvesters.
Reporting for duty. Destination confirmed.
And yes, instead of destroying them, shit, 2 free harvesters, man.
Reporting for duty.
It's like 1,000 resources. Let them come to you, or you risk alerting.
Sensors indicate the enemy is harvesting resources. Destroy their collector to impair ship production.
Yeah.
Receiving.
Whoa, whoa, whoa.
Reporting. Support command received. Target selected for salvaging. Responding.
Chill, guys.
Awaiting
Chill.
assignment.
Chill, chill, chill.
New heading set.
There's another group of dots.
Understood. Reporting.
Yeah, nab them both.
Aggressive tactics enabled. Diverting power to weapons.
And the salvagers don't really have any weapons.
Ready for
Although in
orders.
times of desperation, they have been known to turn their... Or the harvesters don't have any weapons, but in times of desperation,
Acknowledged.
they have been known to turn their harvesting
Target
beams
acquired.
upon the enemy, which is kind of cool.
Group 2. Under
See, they
attack.
can't even hit us as much as they need to. We might have a little trouble with their maneuverability, but it's really nothing to write home about, guys. Alright, we've acquired them. There's another dot, but it's down there, and we'll get to them.
Support is on the way. Hang in there.
Alright, those are 2 enemy groups of strike craft. That's good. We're gonna go ahead and get these resources processed. That's phase 1. Yeah, have you guessed what I'm gonna do to the entire enemy fleet? Especially that fucking carrier and those 2 destroyers? Man, we don't have the facilities to build any of that shit.
Reporting.
This makes the naval combat in Homeworld kinda like naval combat was like in the ancient world.
Mothership.
Where the objective is really more to capture the enemy and board them.
Ready for orders.
Rather than, you know, sink all of them. Realistically, I'd probably want every single motherfucker in this fleet completely dead. But you know, we can bring the ships in, flush the Titani out the airlock, bring in a Kushan crew, send it out, and it's even better than new. See, the Titan harvesters, they look kind of cool, but I guess I vastly prefer our own design. Alright. These dots here are frigate groups. Assault frigates, ion cannon frigates, and assault frigates with defenders in the escort. And there's also some enemy strike craft herping around, but with heavy corvettes, it's really... It's so not a problem.
Docking with support frigate initiated.
And while we're processing them, let's go ahead and dock these guys to refuel. Let's get these guys to refuel as well. Every little bit.
Locked on to support frigate. Dock-on enabled.
So at the end of this mission, when we harvest resources, we can friggin' have 3 of them. And let me check the cost. Yeah, $6.50 each.
Enemy resource collector captured.
It's crazy how economical it is. Just like little fishies.
Reporting for duty.
It's gonna take a while for... I don't know, there's 2 of them available. So refueling shouldn't take that long.
Salvage field released. We're letting
Just make
go.
sure all your guys' tanks are topped off. There he goes. Right in there, no problem. The enemy dots moving always made me a little bit nervous. Alright. First phase went well. Sometimes you end up luring the assault frigates to you.
Ready for
Really
orders.
bad idea.
Enemy resource collector
I'm gonna
captured.
officially declare this a success though, guys. So it's time to save again. Time for phase 3. This time I want...
Awaiting orders.
do not want the harvester. I
Receiving.
want 8 salvagers up.
Destination confirmed.
Plus
Standing
1
by.
additional salvager.
Coordinates confirmed. Receiving.
I want every support frigate.
Reporting for duty.
Want every support frigate
Support
locked
command
onto
acknowledged.
these guys.
Group 2 copies. Aggressive tactics set. Diverting power to weapons.
And in return, I want...
Establishing wall formation. Assignment received.
I want them guarding this whole group. That's fine.
Handshake confirmed. Guarding. Roger.
Group 5
Sending you to group
reinforced.
5.
Ready for orders. Group 7 copies. Group 4
I'm
copies.
Group
setting
4
this
designated.
one. Let's call him Mr. Decoy to group 4. Now,
Group 5 copies.
also there's another patrol of strike craft that come in and It's really not a problem. Let's head over towards that group.
Standing by.
Assault frigates, you're up.
Destination confirmed.
Scouts, maybe you want to get a little bit out of the way.
Underway.
Just as a suggestion here.
Awaiting assignment.
And everybody just be cool.
Acknowledged. Evasive tactics enabled. Diverting power to engines. Flight control engaged. Assuming guard position.
Yeah, something might try to come after us. Just... what I'm really gonna do... They might keep sending fighters after us, but frankly, we got the resources, so... they shouldn't be. That group over there is pissing me off. And let's face it, we don't technically have to salvage every assault frigate group. If one of them comes while the main salvage group is away, then... I'm probably gonna definitely have to split this mission up into multiple parts, considering each phase like this takes a bit of time to do. And do well. Okay.
Responding.
What we want to do here...
Course
continue
set.
looping around. Capturing assault frigates is a bitch when they start shooting at you, which is why the support units are here. I want to go over and kill those fucking strike craft over there. Also, I keep thinking that that dot down there, way at the bottom, is like right on our ass, and that's... you know, it's tough to keep your perspective. Okay. The key is to get on the same plane as the enemy.
New heading set.
Once we've done that, we send Mr. Decoy in
Reporting.
to get their attention. All the enemy ships will lock on to him, and he'll run back to us. And then, fooled you! And then we nab 4 assault frigates, and then we laugh about it over beers. We want to be a little careful here, though. Okay. Should be good enough. Let's go poke
locked
them.
in.
Not even poke them, just make them think they're about to be poked.
Ready for orders. Support
And
command
everybody
received.
just be cool.
Standing by.
Soon as you get them on visual, or rather, what I should say, as soon as they get you on visual, because if we pick a fight with them over there, then it's rather more likely to attract the attention of the bigger boys, and we kind of want to save those pickings till last. There they are.
This ship's too big. We need another salvage
Whoa,
team,
whoa,
please.
whoa, whoa, whoa. Okay, bro. Run.
Underway.
Run, bro. Run. Oh, shit. Too close, too close, too close. Whoa, 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 whoa. Run, 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 run. Evasive tactics. Ah. Fuck, 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 fuck. Okay. On evasive, he does outspeed them,